The keynote speaker, Terry Holbrooks, and to the honors of introducing him, I would like to invite Ghazali Sahab to come on to the podium. He is our communication director. He's a journalist. He's a writer. He does he makes all of us look good. All these little video clips and everything that he does. He also wrote this fabulous book, Islam and Muslims in the Post 9/11. I want to say that American Muslim Voice received 25 books from Mr. Tasadduq Hussain Atari, who donated these books to American Muslim Voice, and we're very grateful. Thank you, Abdul Sattar. Please introduce Terry Holbrooks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Terry Holbrooks Jr. He joined the US Army in 2002 with a lot of expectations. He hoped to become a better American, a better soldier, and a better person. In June 2003, he was deployed to Guantanamo Bay detention camp, where his work with the detainees led to him accepting Islam just 6 months into the job. He would never have thought in his wildest atheist dreams that he would become a Muslim. He has written a book entitled Traitor, which discusses his time at Guantanamo Bay detention camp. He is an advocate of closing this prison. Tentatively, I believe this will be his last year of speaking about his experience at the Guantanamo Bay detention camp. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to share something about Terry's generosity with all of you. He was keynote speaker at our 2013 convention. He jumped on stage to help us raise funds to continue American Muslim Voice work. He started with himself by donating all of his honorarium to the A&D Foundation. We will never forget this gesture. Please help me give a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Mr. Terry Holbrooks.
As he said, I enlisted in the United States Army in August of 2002. I was not motivated by 9/11. Made absolutely no difference one way or the other in regards to my view for joining the Army. Like many middle class, maybe lower middle class kids in the United States, when I graduated high school, I didn't have many options. I didn't have the ability to go to college. I didn't have a fun family that had money. I didn't have much of a career ahead of me as I was just a high school graduate. What can you do with a high school diploma? Looking for options, looking for a way to better my life, looking for a way to make the name Holbrooks a name that I would be proud of, because my parents hadn't done that, and then many other issues and things that I could delve into that we're not going to this evening. I decided it was in my best interest to go to the United States Army. This may not have been a surprise. You might recall the be all that you can be indeed. All right, so that's how early they start working on our children. That's how early. I woke up one morning, that song was playing in my head as I was washing up, and I thought to myself, you know, that's it. I'm going to join the Army. This is a good idea. It'll look good on a resume. It'll look good for anything that I do for the rest of my life. I'll be able to move forward. I'll have all these doors open for me by joining the Army. It's a great idea. So I get my Social Security card, my birth certificate, my high school diploma, all my paperwork. I go down to the recruiter's office. I walk in, and I'm ready to go. I'm thinking that day I'm probably going to be going off to Iraq or somewhere. Who knows? I set everything down. I say to the recruiter, hey, I want to join the Army. And the recruiter looks at me, and he laughs. He says, that's okay. No thanks. Have a good day. And I went outside and I scratched my head. I remember thinking to myself, why would the recruiter say no? I can walk and talk, I'm able-bodied, I can shoot a gun, I can see straight, I can speak, you know, I'm an American. Why doesn't this recruiter want me? But as I was trying to say, back in 2002, being a high school graduate and whatnot, not having much going, recruiters didn't have to try hard to get soldiers. Soldiers were coming to them. The recruiter looked at me and he saw a white kid covered in tattoos, with funny hair and piercings, this, that, and the other. He saw a wild card. He saw a chance. He saw a problem. He knew that if he waited a couple more hours, maybe somebody from the football team was going to come, maybe somebody from the basketball team. So he was waiting for another person. A couple of weeks later, as my life is continuing to go on, and I don't have many career perspectives, I say, I gotta go back. I go back to the recruiter, I set everything down, and I say, hey, I want to join the Army. It's okay, guys, we still don't need you. Maybe try the Marines or something. A couple more weeks went by. I was working at Taco Bell at this point. That's a terrible job, by the way. Anybody who's a youngster in this room, if you're working at Taco Bell, I have so much respect for you. Your slobber is through the roof. So come on. I was getting close to broke, and I went back to the recruiter. I said, look, I want to join. I don't care what I'm doing. I want to join. What do I have to do? He takes me downtown. I take my ASVAB. For those of you who don't know, the ASVAB is a government standardized test to allow for them to figure out how they can best exploit you. If you take the test and you have a good brain on your shoulders, they'll train you to be a doctor or a lawyer or perhaps a pharmacist. If you have an okay brain, maybe you'll be a military police officer like I was, or perhaps engineer or something. And then if you're not that bright, you'll just be infantry. Or you go to the Marines. I made the foolish mistake of asking which job is giving a bonus. And that is how I became a military police officer in the United States Army. It was simply a matter of necessity and wanting to better myself. Had nothing to do with 9/11, had nothing to do with patriotism, had nothing to do with being proud to be an American. What did I do to get born and be an American? I didn't set this up. But how did this happen? It's chance. Patriotism, it gets to me, I tell you, particularly this weekend and being in airports all weekend. Try that as a Muslim on 9/11. As we were getting ready to go down to Guantanamo, our unit had a little stop. We had just completed our 2 weeks of delightful training to work in a prison, unlike any other prison anywhere in the world. 2 weeks, that was all. And we were expecting to go to Guantanamo, and our commander had arranged a surprise for us. We stopped off in New York City. He wanted us to walk around Ground Zero. He wanted us to read the comments on the walls. He wanted us to see the candles. He wanted us to see the flowers. He wanted us to feel what had happened. This would be the same as taking a group of Jewish individuals to a concentration camp and just asking them to walk around and feel it. This was the idea that they wanted. They wanted to just feel what had happened, and really take it in. And as we were getting onto the buses and getting ready to go back to the airport, he tells us, man, I want you to remember what you saw here today. I want you to remember the destruction, the rubble, the devastation. I want you to remember the 3,000 innocent lives that America lost. I want you to remember the women and children who were going to work, going to daycare, going to school, had nothing to do with anything, and lost their lives this day. I want you to remember when we get to Guantanamo to not be complacent. It's not the men in those cages. It's Al-Qaeda. It's the Taliban. It's the Mujahideen. It's the worst of the worst. It is the lowest of the low. When these men wake up, they think about nothing but spilling your blood, day after day. When we get down to Guantanamo, do not forget, we didn't start this war. Islam started this war. We are going to end it. As we arrived, and I'm thinking about Al-Qaeda, I'm thinking about the Taliban, I'm thinking about the Mujahideen, I'm thinking about the images I had seen on Fox, on CNN. You know, who are these people? Who are going to be in these cages? I'm expecting men with prolific builds and giant beards that make you say, MashaAllah. They got huge swords and they're all on horseback. I was probably thinking of Charleston Heston or Anthony Quinn, but we get off and we start our initial tour of Camp Delta. And it took maybe 5 seconds for me to realize that everything I had been told about what to expect was an absolute lie. Everything I had been seeing on Fox and CNN since 9/11 was an absolute lie. 5 seconds. As we walked onto that first block, I heard a detainee rapping Eminem from the top of his lungs. 7 cells down on the left-hand side. And I started thinking to myself, wait a second, hold on. What's this detainee doing rapping? Detainees don't rap. Muslims don't rap. Muslims hate rap. Muslims hate music, and they hate freedom, and they hate joy, and They hate partying and dancing and video games and movies and everything that's good about life. Muslims hate it. What's this guy doing rapping? He can't rap. And I stop outside of the cell and I say, hey, you, what are you doing rapping? You're not allowed to rap. And he told me that when he goes to interrogation, the interrogator will usually chain him to the ground or chain him to the chair in a stress position, meant to induce muscle atrophy, muscle failure. It wasn't until he hit muscle failure that the interrogation would begin. It wasn't until he defecated and urinated himself that the interrogation would begin. While he was sitting in the stress position, he had a speaker inside his head playing the same song on repeat. Sometimes for 6 hours, sometimes for 8 hours, sometimes for 12 hours. However long until he voided himself. And at that point, the interrogator would come in and emasculate him, put him down, talk about how he wasn't worthy of serving the Mujahideen because he just voided himself like a child, like a baby. Then he would show photos of dead bodies. Your family, your friends, everybody you know back in your village, they're all dead now. Tell us where the training camp is. Tell us so you can go home and bury your kids. Tell us so you can go home and bury your wife. That was a pretty good first day. Got me set for what I needed to know. I've been asked probably a couple thousand times in the years, what led you to Islam? I wish that it was a simple answer. I wish that it was one word. I wish I could just say the Quran. The Quran is an amazing book. Don't get me wrong. SubhanAllah, it's an amazing, amazing book. You cannot deny that it is written by God himself. SubhanAllah. But that's not it. It wasn't the simplicity of Islam. Don't get me wrong. Islam can be difficult at times. Or is it us who is making Islam difficult? Islam is an easy religion. The easiest religion. The most full, the right religion. We have all of the answers. It is easy. Every change that I made to become a Muslim was easy. It felt natural. It felt like the way life was supposed to be. What led me to Islam is that the men who I was torturing and abusing day after day for that first 6 months were the most kind, hospitable, respectful, eloquent, and well-behaved men I have ever come across in my entire life. As I came to learn about the Sahaba, as I came to learn about Uthman, as I came to learn about Umar, as I came to learn about our beloved Prophet ﷺ, I would see men from Guantanamo in my head because they embodied these qualities. Trustworthy, being honest, being forthright and direct in your speech, being compassionate, being supportive, taking care of the brother in the cell next to you. You see that he's having a bad day. You see that something bad happened to him in interrogation and you take care of him. Maybe the guard who was walking by, he's a young kid, he's tired, he's fatigued. You only get 2 meals a day, but you're willing to offer him bread from your meal? You're willing to offer him fruit? You're willing to offer him rice and lamb from your dish that you only get twice a day? Never had I seen behavior like this in my life. And if I walked into any masjid in the United States before I went to Guantanamo, there was no way that I would be Muslim today. Because our behavior here is nothing like the behavior that I saw there. The character of the Muslims in the country is nothing like the ones who are living for Islam and Islam only. If I woke a man up and I took him to interrogation, and I flushed his head into a toilet, and I broke his hand, and I broke his phalanges, and I disrespected everything about this faith, but he was able to make his 5 prayers in that day, it was a good day for him, and that was all that he wanted. How many excuses do we come up with to hide that we're Muslims? How many excuses do we come up with to pray in a private place, to hide? Why are we doing this? Why are we hiding? What are we hiding? We have nothing to fear but Allah, and Allah protects those who are doing which pleases Him. Why are we hiding? I'm sorry, I have a broken rib right now, and I have a cold as well. I gotta take a minute to breathe. If I get a little too angry, my lungs start going, and my chest hurts. I didn't intend ever in my life to be somebody who would be standing in front of a room of esteemed great minds, All of you have careers that are probably much better than mine. You have educations that are far superior to mine. I'm sure in many, many ways that you're all vastly, it humbles me to be in a room, to be invited to speak to you. You want to hear what I have to say? It's very humbling. But it comes with a heavy burden. I've been talking about Guantanamo since I left Guantanamo. My mind and my heart have not left Guantanamo. Until the detainees who were there have left, I will not leave. This is my last year of speaking because I owe it to my friends. I owe it to my family. I owe it to my wife to take care of my mental and emotional health. And every time that I talk about this, every time that I relive what I had to do to presumably innocent men for a year, I'll never forgive myself. How is Allah going to forgive me? I've spent the last 6 years talking about Guantanamo and the damage that it's done to me, the damage that's done to our country, and the damage that it's continuing to do. Guantanamo is not going anywhere. Guantanamo is not going to close. As it was said earlier with the Patriot Act, that laid the ground to spy on all of us. Not Muslims, all of us Americans. With the National Defense Authorization Act of 2011, all of us Americans are now eligible to go to Guantanamo. Congratulations. You all have the ability to be held indefinitely in Guantanamo. I'm not making this up. Section 10, National Defense Authorization Act of 2011. When I think about the concept of what life is, aside from the goal of trying to serve Allah, life is nothing more than a constant conversation, a dialogue between us and our Creator. How can you have a conversation? How can you have a dialogue when that voice isn't there? How can we fix the problems that we have in this country where we're not talking, when we don't have a voice? We have to penetrate the media. We have to speak up. We have to display the myths, and we have to show people what Islam truly is, or we will not be in this country. Doing the work of da'wah is fard ayn. It's fard kifaya, it's fard ayn. The A&B and Sister Samina particularly, you don't see people like this often. People who have the time, the knowledge, and the resources, and are willing to do the work, are willing to give it all to please Allah. What more do we have to do to support them? What more do I have to say to cause you to want to support them? For reasons that I'm still not quite sure on, we're not able to fundraise this evening. So we're not going to fundraise. What we're going to do instead is I will more than happily sign, autograph, put in a prescribed dua. You can take a photo, you can take a selfie, whatever you want, anything. If you buy a copy of my book for $1,000 and you make your check, your PayPal, your credit card, whatever statement payable to American Muslim Voice. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Terry. I must say that you have somewhat toned down our emotions because this has to be one of the most moving stories I've ever heard. And the gentleman who was a Muslim prisoner easily has to be one of the finest Muslims I have ever heard about. He is a shining example because he demonstrated sabr and the utmost faith in Allah. He did not respond or react to the situation, and by his actions, by living his life the way you are supposed to, he's made a remarkable statement that we now have such an inspiring speaker as Terry come and share this wonderful story with us. This is truly amazing, and I want to thank you for it. The podium is now open for question and answers. If any of you have them. Wonderful. Javed Bhai is a man of passion, and I would be surprised if he did not rise to this call today. Thank you, Javed Bhai.
I just want to write a check to American Muslim Voice for $1,000. My request to Terry, I want to make a selfie with him. Thank you.
This is the first selfie that I will ever need. And the last selfie.
Thank you so much. This was a demonstration of the passion we have in American Muslim Voice. Thank you, Javed Bhai. Excellent. I don't know if any of you have questions pertaining to American Muslim Voice or to Terry. Is it time to pray for namaz? No? We have time. Are we going to Jordan? Questions for Terry?
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Does anybody have questions?
Ask the youth, maybe they should.
I guess they want to pray. Maybe they want to eat. Youngsters. Do I have any youngsters who have questions? I know that you're young in mind. I'm looking for the youngsters. Yes, please.
Stand up, please.
The question was, do I believe that everybody in Guantanamo is innocent? Unfortunately, being who I am, being the only guard who speaks about Guantanamo as directly as I do, it comes with, obviously, some baggage. There's going to be 6 men who will be going on trial this year, 2016. They're going to be going on trial. There's Firdos Sheikh Mohammed, his nephew, and 4 others. They're all going to be found unanimously guilty. That's obviously just how it is. Their defense attorneys continuously visit me to ask me questions about what it was like working in Guantanamo, what it's like being Muslim, what's it like being all types of different angles. They want to understand their clients as well as they possibly could. Those 6 men obviously were guilty, with the exception of maybe a handful. I think literally 5, 10 men. The rest of them, no. We went into countries and purchased these people. We literally went into countries and offered $2,000 and $3,000 bounties to anybody who may know someone who knows something about terrorism. Something about Al-Shabaab, something about Al-Qaeda, anything. If they knew something about it, we offered them. If you go to a country like Somalia and you offer $2,000, $3,000 bounty, you're going to get people inevitably. That's just an unfortunate way of humanity. Many of the men who were there, we purchased them from other countries. It was a way to show results and make America feel more comfortable that we had stopped terrorism. Are you just hot, or can you just feel hot?
You have a question?
Yes, brother. The question was, how come he hasn't heard anybody else speaking about Guantanamo as I do? There are 3 others, actually. There's Brandon Neely. He is a Christian who lives in Houston. Great guy, does a lot of good work, does a lot of good speaking. He's been on the Rachel Maddow show. He's been on Fox a number of times. I think he might even be going up to Nighttime Fox, one of the 7:30 shows. Chris Adler lives in Michigan. He also speaks about Guantanamo. Albert Melise lives in Florida. He's a retired police officer. He speaks about Guantanamo. Chaplain Yee was at my event last night in New Jersey. Just to give you perspective, I've been up since about 1 a.m. your time, and I'm still fasting and sick with a broken rib. It's a great day today. Chaplain Yee also was a speaker. He goes to some events and talks about Guantanamo, but with his situation, it's a little bit more of a specific audience. Anyone else? Questions about the American Muslim Voice, perhaps? I got a question. Is hunger curable? Who said no? Oh, you totally have to re-listen to that talk. Hunger is curable and we can end it.
We are now moving on to Jordan Richter's piece of segment here. He is actually playing a role in Oprah Winfrey's movie that is coming out later part of 2015. Jordan Richter has a journey from Judaism to Islam. His Muslim name is Abdul Jalil. He was born in Miami Beach, Florida, to a Jewish family and currently lives in the San Francisco Bay Area. He's a professional skateboarder and manages Jordan Richter Skateboard Academy. They provide year-round skate classes and summer camps for city park and recreation departments. Jordan has personally instructed and trained over 500 skateboarders, including Larry Page, CEO of Google, his wife, and 2 children. Presenting Jordan Richter. We are actually going to start off with a clip of the movie that he is in from Oprah Winfrey. We received special permission for this viewing today. Unfortunately, because of time, we won't be showing you the full documentary, but it's an excellent piece from Oprah Winfrey, who's actually showing different parts of religion, and he's featured in the Hajj pilgrimage. Thank you. That's excellent. You must be special for him to have made time for you. Thank you, Jordan.
I'm going to do what Terry didn't walk. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair to Sister Samina for inviting me here. This is the real giants of the Ummah are those who are in service of the Ummah, service of those. And for me, with this documentary, that was it was hard to see myself. I'd watched it a few times, but it was hard to see myself in this environment. Just in brief, before I did this documentary, I actually sought one of my local ulama, a scholar, who's a very conservative alim, meaning that he himself does not take photos, he does not take video, he is very much not in say opposed, but he doesn't, himself. But he told me that this is necessary to show, if you have a chance, to show a moderate Islam. I find it very disturbing, number one, that I have to apologize for being Muslim, number one. It abhors me because, I grew up in a Jewish family, and I wasn't a self-hating Jew, okay? I didn't really know much. My parents were hippies, and they took a lot of drugs, and they tried their best. My grandmother was a kind of the spiritual force in the family, and she was a new ager, and she was into dropping LSD and, hallucinating, and, just to be honest with you, anyway, you all know who Steve Jobs is, right? Everyone knows who Steve Jobs is. No one knows the Steve Jobs who dropped LSD. You know this great Steve Jobs that was like awesome. Oh, he's the best. Like Steve Jobs had a history as well. So I came from this background that was pretty broken. And I think that the brokenness, there's also a blessing in that. As a skateboarder, I learned to get made fun of early on. So meaning skateboarding was not popular, say, early 90s. Late 80s, early 90s, we used to get spit on, we used to get made fun of. And people used to mock at us, and at school, forget it. I was not a popular, kid. I was an outcast. And so making the transition into Islam was quite easy for me to get made fun of. And I know that's not very comfortable for a lot of you, but we have to embrace the criticism. Our Prophet Muhammad was not a person to get hung up on trivial matters pertaining to the self. He wasn't really, and I remind myself of this, he didn't get so offended. He didn't picket, he didn't rally, but he went internally inside himself and connected with his Creator, along with his companions, and beseeched Allah, the God, Creator. If all those who are not Muslim, they beseech as well. And we all know, regardless of your faith, when we go internally inside us and we fix that connection, that vertical connection with us and our Creator, and we try, as I remind myself, to fix our external condition, our actions, how we treat ourselves, how we treat our family, how we treat our children. When we work on this, then we see the conditions, chaotic conditions, become peaceful conditions. The conditions that we want in our life, that I want in my life, if I want to change myself, I have to change my relationship with my Creator. That means I have to do some work. That means it's going to have a pain process. Those who get a PhD, those who have started a business, those are entrepreneurs, the sister who started the CEO of Feeding Forward, subhanAllah. And Sister Samina, I want to really highlight this, since 2003, she's been making an all-out effort, sacrificing her own comforts, her own financial comforts for a greater vision for the future of our children and for the future of our community. And so, I just want to say this and I'll stop, that as a community we have to first we all have to look inside ourselves and see what we're missing inside ourselves with our relationship to our Creator, relationship to our family. There's basic human needs that we have to work on. And when we can start to make headway and start to really fix internally, learning how to love ourselves by working on ourselves to become better human beings, not just better Muslims, but better humans. Whether we be Muslim, Christian, Jew, we're all just trying to live here peacefully, and harmoniously, respecting each other as human beings. Not that this is, I don't even like the word non-Muslim, to be honest with you. It's alienating, okay? We could say, I am Muslim and you are Christian, or you are atheist, or that's fine. At the end of the day, we need to get on with our lives. We need to love each other, respect each other, inshallah, because our children are looking to us as examples. Our children are looking to us to really enact the values that we claim to live by. Whether we're Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, atheist even, whoever, we need to be that living, breathing, actionable example for our children. May God make it so in my life, bring it in my life, and bring it all in all our lives. I urge you all to please consider the work that Sister Samina is doing for American Muslim Voice. This work is not work that is just fly-by-night work. This is work that she goes to sleep with on her mind. She wakes up with it. It's a constant concern, a fikr, a worry of how we can all get along with each other and really seek to understand each other and where we're at, inshallah. May Allah accept all of us here, and may Allah accept Sister Samina. Jazakallah khair. I don't know if anyone has any questions. I'm open. I don't know how much time there is, but and there's other programs, but if there's a couple questions, definitely I'm open to answer any, if anyone has any. inshallah.
Can you teach skateboarding here in Sacramento?
I can teach skateboarding here in Sacramento. Actually, I do city partnerships with the park and rec community, so it's hard to be everywhere at one time, but we could arrange something, inshallah, special, maybe during Ramadan or after. But skateboarding is a good activity. You know, it's your children will learn how to fall, get hurt a little bit, and get up. And it's really good, actually, because children don't fall enough. They don't know we baby our children too much. I tell my son 1 out of 10 times, I say, don't be careful. And then I tell him 9 times, be careful. So.
Thank you, Jordan. I think the tone of the evening is passion. That is because Samina Sanders is a lady of passion. Jordan is a man of passion. Terry is a man of passion. And where's Komal? She's a lady of passion. So the evening is just so full of passion. Jordan, I want to tell you, there was one sentence in the documentary that I saw that completely ripped my heart. I think it was the line where you said, my parents chose drugs over me. That to me completely hit home the message that rejection, hate, these emotions can be life-turning. And Jordan has made it work positive for him. So did Terry and so did Coleman. They all felt the pain. But what is so beautiful is that you turned every negative into such a remarkable positive. So we have these great role models to go by, and we are honored to have had all 3 of you share your wonderful stories with us. Now, Samina Sanders you said Sister Samina is the one who's working, but as magnanimous as she is, she wanted me to say that it is not just Sister Samina, but her entire team. So thank you, Amy.